Hey y'all. So on this journey together and compiling different tips and tricks, thought I'd put this on the gardening tips playlist here on YouTube. Now it remains to be seen whether or not it's successful. It's a combination of several different schools of thought and practiced and tried and true methods on tomatoes in this case. We got a little shower earlier. The skies are clearing, but we've got another round coming here in about 2 hours. And I wasn't going to plant these tomatoes. They are a little young, as you can see. And I've got chickens, for those of you that hadn't followed along. So I elected to, I think I'm just going to put out a few. I wouldn't do these with this young of a plant if they hadn't been climatized. But they have been outside in the air and the heat, and so they're used to the outside. I'm putting on this end of the row because the chickens really don't venture up this far, and I hesitate to put anything this small on that end of the row just yet because they are foragers, and I like that, but I don't like it when they start pecking on the plants, and that would definitely happen to these young tomatoes. What I'm doing is I've got black landscape fabric out to control the weeds in the rows, and it's recommended to put a tomato plant around 24 to 36 inches. And I started off at about 28, and I'm not liking the spacing, so the remainder of this row will be 36 inches or a little shy of that, as I'm going to companion plant some basil about every third heel. It's a good complementary companion plant. You can look up that on online and see all the benefits. Kind of ironic, tomato and basil go together in the kitchen as well, don't they? I would suggest as you plan this out, you do your the soil amendment that I'm about to apply ahead of putting your landscape fabric down, which I have got completed down this way. I reserved this end to kind of show you what we're doing. I have a 4-10-6 mix Nifopot. That's an easy way to remember that. So 4 parts nitrogen, 10 phosphorus, and 6 parts potassium. This will be a nice slow feed on the edge of these tomato plants as they grow. I have mixed that with some pelletized calcitite, which is basically limestone, which will lower the acidity. Got a pine tree right there, so this soil is just a tad acidic, which tomatoes love, but I want to balance that acidity and make a little sweeter tomato. So I've got about a 2-to-1 ratio, 2 parts fertilizer to 1 part calcium there that I'm going to put in there. Now here's the secret weapon that I discovered, and I'm curious to find out how it works. Again, those chickens are a wealth of amendments for the farm, from the meat, obvious, the eggs, their poop, which is a great fertilizer, probably the best manure you can get after it's become a little less hot, and eggs, excellent source of calcium. So we've been saving them and washing these eggs, and I'm going to put about 2 tablespoons in the bottom of the holes. And as I've ground them up very, very fine so that they will decompose over the growth of the tomato plant and provide much needed calcium to the plant. I did a little do-it-yourself project with some newspaper rolls, and that's what I've got my tomatoes in. So I'm going to plant the tomatoes just like they are. This paper is composing very quickly anyway. So I'm going to set the camera down, set it up, and I'll show you how we're going to mend each tomato hill ahead of planting and just go through that process. We'll see through the course of the year how it works. All right, we're going to have to make quick work of this. That rain's coming quick. So what I'm going to do is on all 4 sides of this hill, where I'm going to put that tomato about 8 inches out, I'm going to dig me a good little trench. This is a rough till, so I've still got some roots and things to deal with, but I want to get it down low for a gradual release on this. Fingers always work better than sticks anyway. I'd say you're probably putting about a good tablespoon on each side of that heel of my mixture of calcitite pelletized and that 4-10-6 tomato and vegetable food. All right, now I've got that done. I'm going to cover that up and let that be a nice gradual release over the life of this plant. When it starts blooming, I'll do a little side dressing, probably with my Super Gold chicken manure over there, It's really high in nitrogen, may add a little bit of tomato food. And now we're ready to put the tomato in. So I've got them in those little newspaper holders. So big enough out for that. I'm going to get a little handful of these shells, not too much. Add a little calcium. We'll see if that trick works. You can follow along as we progress and see these babies grow. I've got 100 plants to do like this, so it's going to take me a little time, but it'll be worth it in the end for sure. All right. So the trick about planting tomatoes, and I started this from seed, is you want to bury it almost up to the leaves. They tolerate that quite well, and it gives it ample time to develop some more root structure to find that water that it's going to need. It's not going to have any problem getting water today. We've got another cell moving in from the west, and I can see it on the horizon, so I'm trying to hurry. I had elected again not to do this today, but I'm going to go ahead and put about 6 of these in, just see how we fare. And it's always a good, I can't stand to not plant everything I got, so I'm not real good at staggering crops. But that's a good move to keep you a slow supply of vegetables instead of getting them all at one time. I guess I'll just take mine all at one time. All right, we've got 5 more to do. Hope that helps. Eggshells for calcium, a little mixture of tomato and plant food, fertilizer, that 4-10-6 mix, and some calcitite, pelletized lime to kind of de-acidify the soil just a little bit. All right, thank y'all so much for following along, and if you give this a shot, like I've done, or any variations, or have some comments or suggestions on your own luck at growing tomatoes, feel free to drop them in the comments below. I love reading and keeping up with all that y'all have to say. Not sure if we'll do a video on the Facebook tonight. We might, depends on the rain. But either way, y'all be the light and have a great Saturday.